Data-driven insights for serious traders. As the closing bell approaches, momentum is analyzed. Tomorrow's key price levels highlighted and the setups that matter most. This is Trading the Close with Verified Investing.
Hello, everybody. My name is Drew Dosick. Welcome to Trading the Close. Guys, we had a rip-roaring rally back today in tech. Really just shot up the boards. Didn't negate the SMH topping tail, though, but it looks like the spider's topping tail has been negated or will be by the end of the day. Let's jump into the market summary board and check out where everything panned out today. We see here the Dow Jones up 0.03%. Nasdaq is up 1.03%. S&P 500 up 0.56%. U.S. oil up 0.64%. Gold is up 1.47%. Pushing through 4,000, making new highs. Incredible push. I swear gold must be a tech play because it is marching along with the rest of the markets. Bitcoin also rallying back, up 1.72% or $2,000. Great move there on Bitcoin. All right, guys, let's take a look at the S&P 500 heat map to see where everything's sorted out. We've got NVIDIA rocketing back 2.09%. Apple up 0.64%, AVGO up 2.75%. Look at this behemoth, 11.29% for AMD. Man, what a rocket ship back up, even after news of not necessarily great margins on AI, especially when renting NVIDIA's Blackwell chips. It is interesting that Oracle down here, they did report $100 million in losses. What that equates to, they were anticipating making about 70% on these chips, and they're not. They're making around under 20%. So that's a big hit to the margins. I'm sure apparently investors think that's going to be sorted out as we've seen this massive rally today, pushing the stocks up on the charts. Tesla also up 1.53%. Interesting price action going on as we speak. Let's jump into the S&P 500 displayed as the spiders. We see here we got 2 minutes left until closing time. We need to have price come back down under 672.68 to keep this topping tail intact. Now, this is a little one. I would have rather seen a much bigger move with a close down here to have a much stronger topping tail. But nonetheless, it is a topping tail on the charts, looking like we're about to be negated. As you see here, 673.03 on the charts. But if I scroll back in time on the charts, you can see here on the weekly time frame, this parallel is getting very close to the top end. Now, we've hit it before back here in November of 2021. We were poking up, got rejected, poked up again, then ultimately got rejected decently down there with that decline extending from 2021 through 2022. But now we find ourselves right back up at the top of this parallel. What will happen in the coming days? We're meandering up here. Will tech push us through? That's the question that's yet to be answered. But nonetheless, this is resistance right here, 675 and change, basically 675.50 tomorrow to 675.90. That should be a test for the spiders, unless, of course, we do gap above it and push higher. We'll see where this market takes us tomorrow, but really interesting price action once we're getting up here to the top of this parallel. Now for the Qs have got some more room to run. I got a different parallel for it. You can see here on the weekly time frame, this does extend back prior to 2021, and it connects the lows, even the lows on the April dip that we experienced. You can see price now has gotten above in the top 50% of this parallel, now breaking back above this inclining trend line. We flip back to the daily time frame, and you can see we meandered right on top, but then today hit the gas pedal and pushed right back up on the charts. All the while, guys, still overbought, but yet we can continue higher. That's just the way the markets are, and that's just what's going on currently. Really remarkable stuff for all of this capital inflow right when we're near the highs and at the highs on all of these different indices. Next up, the SMH. Guys, look at that mammoth bounce. Unbelievable. Yesterday, we were looking like we were headed down, breaking down on this SMH chart. What a retrace, but that still leaves this daily topping tail intact. This topping tail with this follow-up sell is one I'm paying more close attention to compared to the S&P 500, as the SMH is typically a leading indicator, along with cryptocurrency. And as we've seen Bitcoin recently reach new all-time highs, The risk on appetite is out there, folks. People are trying to get more for their money. And we did officially close there, negating that topping tail. Interesting stuff, folks. All right. So next up, the IWM still has its topping tail intact, but you can see we're really testing, breaking through that too with this price movement moving up and putting in bullish consolidation. It looks like this topping tail is the next victim to be taken out on this index. So we'll see if that takes place. If so, the next area of resistance is going to be up here on the IWM at $250.46. Next up, the Dow Jones. As you can see, the Dow Jones made a beautiful breakdown and then retraced up here to the inclining trend line and has since put in bullish consolidation. Yes, we've tried to have a little bit of selling pressure, but it hasn't been that much. Notice all the closes of these three candles are all contained right here in the body of this green candle that retested this inclining trend line. If this bullish pattern plays out, we could have this price action curl down just a little bit and then eventually re-attack the trend line up here at 47,310 points. Next up, Bitcoin. Bitcoin putting in a remarkable recovery, still not recovering all of what was lost yesterday. So we'll have to watch tomorrow on Bitcoin. Resistance will still be up here at the top of the parallel. Tomorrow is the values at $125,018. There was a couple questions regarding the inverse head and shoulders pattern that I displayed on Bitcoin. And this, guys, is a valid inverse head and shoulders pattern. It's a small shoulder on the left, head, and this right shoulder, if you notice, it didn't take out the head lows. And if this would not be valid, if this right shoulder got down underneath the head and potentially tagged that trend line, then this would not be an inverse head and shoulders pattern. But since the right shoulder is above the low point of the head, it is a valid pattern, pointing us towards a measured move up here at 127,459. But as I said before, this area of the parallel will be resistance, as it has been for the last several months. So as we've seen, that has been the case just most recently, the last couple days, as that has posed resistance on the move up. We'll see if this Bitcoin momentum can push us up here to 127,000, or if this parallel ultimately slams the door on all those Bitcoin bulls' hopes. Next up, gold, guys. What can you say? Over $4,000, busting through this inclining trend line from April of 2024. Man, what a move on gold. This thing is literally jumping off the charts. People are lining up. I even heard today that people in Japan were lining up to buy gold and they ran out. They ran out of gold to sell people and investors in Japan. People are piling over themselves to get into gold. And I've seen a lot of great reports saying gold, 5,000, 4,500, 6,000 an ounce, etc. But eventually, this sort of bull run is going to end pretty nasty with a deep decline. So be careful buying gold all the way up here. I would wait for a pullback at minimum down here to under $3,600. We'll see if I'm wrong. But man, this extended move reminds me I'm looking at some sort of tech company on this chart. Incredible push on gold. Next up, silver. Pretty similar as far as extended moves. It did also get its mojo together, almost tagged the all-time highs from 2011, has since pulled back right around $49. Minor support down here, $46.79. Now there's support down at $44.26. But be watching for this to get tagged potentially in the near future, considering we put in 3 days of sideways price action with one quick pop. We may follow it up with another one to all-time highs in the very near future. Next up, U.S. oil also put in a decent day today, further establishing itself up above this declining trend line. This is an incredible move on oil, albeit only 4 days. Let's see if this rally can continue, maintain in this wedge pattern, and potentially move up here to $66.47. I was waiting for this $59.50 to get tagged. Just looks like oil couldn't get the pressure to get a sell-off there. The bullish momentum in the markets are encouraging for oil and also future business activity. Next up, nat gas. Big decline today. We did notice and explain the other day, this is an extended move on the charts. Beautiful push up there. Should have tagged resistance at 383, but the momentum faltered and started pulling right back. This previous resistance will be minor support, followed by a more solid level of support down here, $3.45 on the chart of nat gas. Next up, we've got Warner Brothers Discovery. You can see here Warner Brothers, huge, big momentum push with this inverse head and shoulders pattern. Guys, it was all displayed here on the chart, and it took literally years for this pattern to develop. And the major move was tagged with this huge explosive move that we see on the charts, that $18.21. Since then, price is now curled over, put in a topping tail, and is starting to retrace. So the best level of support is going to be all the way down here at $14.50. We'll see if price action gets down that low. Otherwise, the first minor level of support will be here at $16.33. Next up, a few tech plays that we're going to be looking at. Marvell Technology busting through resistance today. You can see this is like an inclining pennant or wedge pattern, where price really, since this September low, has just continued barreling through. We paused slightly here on the bottom end of it, and then we excelled through here all the way to the top, now breaking above. That puts our next resistance level here at $100. So be watching for that as resistance. Support, if price pushes there, will then turn into this inclining trend line, which is valued right at around $90, depending upon the time it comes back and hits that trend line. Really interesting moves and plays on some of these tech stocks. Next up, we've got Dell. Dell also, big mammoth move today. It did explain that it did raise its revenue growth forecast to 7 to 9% through 2030. And this is on the back of strong AI hardware demand. Beautiful move here on Dell, breaking through the 50% area of this inclining parallel channel. You can see here it's been rejected every single time it's hit this area, but not today. Today it said, let's get through and get very close to the next resistance, right at $166.77. Next stop for it, if this momentum continues, is the all-time highs up here at $179.70. If we do get up here, be anticipating a pullback down to this 50% area of the parallel, roughly around $168, before another attempt to go higher on the chart of Dell. Next up, ANET. You can see also breaking out from an inclining trend line. Now, this trend line rejected price back on September 11th, but as you see here, price regained momentum, consolidated for several weeks, and then is now busted through today. Next resistance is at $165.62. Support, though, is going to be down here until we push through this 50% area. Support will be back down here around $143. Lastly, I know we covered AMD the other day, but guys, you got to look at this move. This is incredible, pushing back up after the selling pressure the last couple of days from the huge gap up that occurred with the OpenAI collaboration. So you can see that investors are not worried about their share size in stocks getting diluted with all the additional shares that AMD is offering for OpenAI to purchase at 1 penny. Yeah, guys, you heard that right. 1 penny. Now, there's milestones that they have to cross before they do get that money, and also opportunity to buy the stocks. But AMD has assured us that, guys, it's likely going to happen as long as OpenAI stays on track. But where does that take us? All right, so I've got a longer-term parallel channel that you see here, started back in 2022, and this is on the weekly time frame. If you can see here, this area is starting to be tested very close, not far away, at $241.40. Last time we went up and tagged the top end of that parallel was on March 4th of 2024 that week. And if you notice, we had a big, huge topping tail registered on the charts. Will a similar type of resistance present itself this week? Uncertain. We'll find out. But guys, all I can tell you is I'm reading the charts. Everything is extended or jumping off the charts. Really quite puzzling and mind-blowing, especially considering not a lot of profit taken has taken place since this April low rally. Really impressive stuff on the markets. Guys, I'll be here tomorrow to go through some great charts and analyze these with you. Until then, thanks for tuning in. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Send this off to your friends and family so they can start learning about stocks and getting educated on technical analysis. Thank you so much. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Until then, I'll see you on the charts. Take care.